Yeah. That's
Yay.
man, that's fun.
Having a little boogie in the background.
I
Hello,
need to get
everybody.
an intro.
Look who I have. Where are you, Ferny? Over there on my side. So yeah, just somewhere
Oh,
there.
I can't point where I am because I'm here. So
Yeah, well, true. Hello, online crew, and welcome to a very special interview today. I've got the one and only, the myth, the legend, the guru, the entrepreneur, the master of attraction marketing, Ferny Ceballos. I'm so excited to have you here, Ferny. It's an absolute privilege to have him here teaching us today 12 skills of a seven-figure digital marketer. So we'll get to that information in a moment. But how are you, Ferny, first?
I'm great, Helen. Thank you for having me. I'm honored. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, say hello to Ferny, everybody. If you don't know who Ferny is, Ferny has been one of my mentors for a number of years now and has helped me in my journey to achieve what I have so far to date in the online world. He's a really smart man. He graduated from MIT, which means he's a really smart engineer. And he did spend 5 years working as an aerospace engineer. Like, you have to be pretty smart to do something like that, I reckon. But
You'd
from
be
my
surprised.
understanding, and Ferny can tell his story, from my understanding, he just wasn't happy with that, as I'm sure some of you can relate to in your careers. You just want something a little bit more or something a little bit different. So Ferny can share that with us in a moment. But Ferny has earned over $40 million in the online world, attraction marketing, all his businesses. So he knows his stuff. And trust me, he knows your struggles. He's been there, he's done that. And, thankfully for people like me and a lot of you, some of you will know who Ferny is. Ferny's teachings in attraction marketing have set us, a lot of people like me, on a different path to building our business, which leads to successful 6, 7, 8-figure earners that Ferny has mentored, which is just incredible. So Ferny is someone you want to pay attention to. He's someone you need in your life, like me. Every now and again, he gives a little wrap around the knuckles of, what are you doing that for? Or you're not thinking, you're not thinking big enough, Helen, or you can't say things like that, Helen. Like, everybody needs a Ferny in their world. So please give him lots and lots of love and attention in the comments here. Ferny, thank you so much for giving up your time to be here today and share what you're going to share with us today. It's just such a pleasure to have you here. Some people watching won't know necessarily who you are. So can you just give us a little bit of your background as to how the hell did you come into this world of network marketing and attraction marketing and create all the amazing things that you have, and, all the students like me that you've helped along the way? Can you just share a little bit of that journey with us?
I'd love to. Thank you for having me, and I'm always honored. It, the best part, and this is a clue for you guys in terms of how to gain mastery over any skill, is the best way for you to learn is ultimately to be teaching. And so when you're a mentor, when you're a teacher, what you end up finding is you actually will learn more from your students than you can learn anywhere else. So it's not so much like you're teaching for the sake of retaining, that helps too. But I learn from every single one of my students that innovate, like Helen. I've learned so much from Helen herself and the things she's created and innovated. So it's not a one-way street. So I'm honored and privileged to be here, Helen, and thank you for inviting me. I'm just here to rock everybody's world if I can. So whatever I can do to
Absolutely.
help, I'm happy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So what brought your world into network marketing? What's your history? I know you're a very smart engineer and you were doing probably what to some would be a dream job as far as sort of like an
Mhm.
engineering graduate. So how do you go from being an aerospace engineer to network marketing? Share that with us.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was a nerd growing up. Got good grades, did everything right in terms of school, well-behaved kid. I grew up in a great family, loving household, and I had the privilege of applying and being accepted to MIT. And at the time when I applied, I didn't really know what it was. I just got a package in the mail, like kind of like when you're a good student. I don't know if your sons or daughters experienced this, but when you're a top student in your high school, all of a sudden you start getting a lot of mail from a lot of different universities, and it's kind of like weird. How do they know? How do they know I live here? Like, and one of those schools is MIT. I didn't know what it was. It was a big packet, but I just was submitting applications left and right to a lot of different universities. And, of course, by the time I was accepted, I kind of at that point knew what a big deal it was. And I, went, had a great time from a social standpoint. My Some of my best friends, I could honestly say, are some of the smartest people in the world, and it's not an exaggeration. Sometimes people say things like that as hyperbole. I'm not saying it as hyperbole. It's actually literal. And so that's very humbling in and of itself, because I definitely was not the smartest kid in class at those MIT classes and lecture halls that I was in. And the other thing I realized, well, I didn't realize it, but it was a clue, is I was studying something that would so many kids dream of, to be an engineer and to be at this prestigious school, the most prestigious engineering and science school in the world. But I wasn't happy. Like I wasn't passionate about engineering and science. I was good at it, but it just, it didn't fire me up. And I thought at the time something was wrong with me. I was like, because I just literally didn't couldn't get up to go to any of my classes. Like I maybe attended 10% of my classes there. And the way I basically, got through and graduated was through binging. I'd like binge study the entire textbook 2 days before the exam to, like, pass it
I
and
can
get
kind of
by.
relate to it.
And so I'm sure, like, that sounds familiar to a lot of students, but
Yeah.
that was me at MIT, just 'cause I just it was hard for me to get motivated to do this work. And again, I thought it was something wrong with me. I thought I had ADHD. I thought I had some learning issue, whatever. But then when I actually graduated, I was done. Woohoo! The world is my oyster, because I was literally brainwashed at MIT to be taught that the world was going to be my oyster. Like you're gonna do amazing, incredible things, and it was like you're gonna have all the money you want, etc. And then when I graduated and I got a job in the aerospace industry, working on space programs for the government, like military space programs, and within 2 days of getting started doing that, I wanted out. Like I couldn't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. And to most people, yeah, it would be like a very cushy, comfortable, six-figure profession job. And what actually kind of like got me thinking a lot was when I looked down the hall and I saw the senior engineer that everybody like gawks at and thinks that guy's awesome, so smart. He's been here a long time, and he's like at the top of the food chain. And it's just this balding fat guy in a dark office. And I was just like, yeah, that's not the vision of my life that I have. And so at that point on, I just was looking for a way out, but there was no way out. I went back to grad school, thinking that maybe more school would help me figure out what I really wanted to do. Um, and it's kind of funny, because when I went to grad school, I like was determined not to be as lazy as I was at MIT. So like I actually put effort in, like consciously forcing myself to do the best I can. And I was at grad school at USC getting straight A's. But then one of my homework partners at USC invited me to a meeting, and then said it was a business meeting with other engineers, and I was like, maybe they want to start some sort of Silicon Valley startup, and we're all going to get rich like Elon Musk. And then I got to the meeting, and there were circles being drawn. And the circles were being drawn in the form of a pyramid thing. And I was just like, oh no, like I hated I hated like everything I learned that day. I didn't like network marketing. There was nothing about network marketing and anything they shared that I enjoyed. I liked. I was one of those guys that basically said is one of those pyramid things, and like I was just like, like this sucks. But then I left that meeting, and I was thinking for 2 weeks. I didn't sign up, and I was like, what else am I going to do? Like no one else has offered me an opportunity to do anything else. And so I just said, okay, let's do it. And I just signed up and, and called my sponsor, and we're like, all right, let's go. And and thing you got to know about me is once I start something, like I'm like fully committed.
Mhm.
And so I went all out, and I became I had the fastest growing team in my, in my uplight and diamonds,
Yep.
organization. I recruited, personally sponsored 17 people in 9 months. They sponsored a few people, but pretty soon I realized that my team was not willing to do what I was willing to do.
Okay.
There was no duplication, and um, they pretty much all just started quitting and gave up, and I was just left alone. And it sucked, and I was just like, "What the hell?" Like, uh, they weren't willing to do what I was willing to do. I was like, maybe at the time I chalked it up to laziness. They're not as motivated. They're not as lazy. But here's the thing, I didn't like any I still, even at that point, did not like anything about network marketing. Like, I did not like what I was being taught. I didn't I wanted to learn it and I wanted to be good at it, but the problem is what they were teaching me was sales, but they weren't teaching me sales skills. They were teaching me some mangled version of what it is to sell. And if you're learning old school network marketing, that's basically a sales process. And if you're going to do that effectively, then you got to understand what skills you're learning. And first, that starts by labeling it correctly. Traditional network marketing is sales. And oftentimes it's done in a way that's deceptive. And I was doing all the deceptive stuff. I was doing all of that stuff. And the only reason I was able to be decent at it is because I actually had some sales skills before. When I was in my fraternity, we have this thing called Rush, and we're basically convincing a bunch of, freshmen to join our fraternity. And I got really good at that. And I leaned on those sales skills that I had, and was able to enroll, but my team didn't have that. My team didn't know how to do that. And so it was kind of weird. And I didn't enjoy any of it, but I did it anyway because I wanted to succeed. And about 9 months into it, I found, the information that changed my life. I found a book called Magnetic Sponsoring, that introduced this concept of attraction marketing. And through that, I got connected with my mentors, Mike Dillard and Tim Irway. Tim Irway is now my business partner today. And long story short, I was able to quit my job within a couple years of getting this information. Became a six-figure earner in my company. And in 2010 I started, I with my business partner, we decided that's the story in and of itself, but we basically had this crazy idea of making this deal with a multi-billion-dollar corporation called the Venetian to host an event there. um, and then if the event sucked or we couldn't sell tickets, we'd be on the hook for like $250,000. And we just decided, oh, let's do that anyway. Like, let's have this event. And we did, and we sold 1,000 tickets, and we had some of the top network marketing professionals, especially those that were building online at the time, which weren't many, speak at that event. And that was the No Excuses Summit. And I did that event every single year for 10 years. And in 2014, my business, my mentor, Tim Irway, invited me to become a partner in the business that I initially got introduced to as a student. And it got rebranded, and, we got rebranded from Magnetic Sponsoring to Elite Marketing Pro. And now it's attractionmarketing.com. And so since 2014, I've been a part of this team and company as a partner with my mentor, Tim Irway, just impacting and introducing this knowledge to new networkers, just like I was introduced to it back in 2006. And it's been awesome. I'm an owner and a partner in the exact same organization and system that developed me. So that's the short of it. It's like and we recently rebranded as Attraction Marketing because it was like a way to pay homage to where this knowledge originated. Very likely, if you see somebody doing attraction marketing, you see somebody with a big social media brand and a big following, that's a network marketer. 99% of the time, they are either our students, students of our students, or the students, students of our students, and so on and so forth. And in fact, at the event we're going to talk about in just a moment, that's happening in July, that Helen, you're speaking at, we have speakers that are training there that are like 8 generations from, Tim and I, in terms of who taught who, attraction marketing. And so it's just really cool to be able to just continue to do this. I did, some of you who have issues with your friends and family thinking you're freaking crazy for getting into network marketing. I mean, I tell you, when you're an MIT graduate working on top secret space stuff for the government, and people look up to you and think like, man, Ferny's made it, whatever. And then all of a sudden you're holding home parties and home meetings and hawking vitamins. It's like, they're going to be really confused. And I got a lot of backlash, a lot of weird, stares, and even arguments, and almost turning into fistfights, because they thought I was freaking crazy. And I probably was a little bit. But, what I've discovered in network marketing, this industry, is like, it's the only thing I've ever seen that gives the average person, regardless of their background, an opportunity to create an incredible life.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a couple of things there I can totally relate to, and certainly, people thinking that you're crazy. For those of you that don't know, my background's in the corporate world. Climbed the corporate ladder, did accounting first, then a marketing degree, then went back and did law until I got on well. And I was highly qualified, and a general manager was my last sort of role. And the only reason I'd probably still be there if it wasn't for a family circumstance that I had to resign, take me to the country. But there were a lot of people that I approached, Ferny, when I first went into this. Like, I suddenly had the space to look at something different. I wanted something different. I didn't want to go back into the workforce. And this opportunity came along. And so I was all excited about it. I literally believed the story of the circles. Get 3 and they get 3 and they get 3 and everyone's a millionaire.
Easy.
Easy. And it wasn't that easy. And, people that respected me as a general manager was snubbing me in this industry, and it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really hard time to be faced with that. And that's why I went online and found you guys. And I'll tell you now that one of the reasons that I ended up, because I was skeptical, like some of you might be, even still, about this industry or who's training who or doing what, was the fact of the people that you were mentoring. So they're like, Ray Higdon's name was in there, and Tanya Eliza's name was in there, and all these people that were doing really well in the industry were connected to your organization, then Elite Marketing Pro, now Attraction Marketing. And it's like, well, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. And, I now sit in that top 15 with those names, as being part of that, community. And unless I'd found you, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. These people wouldn't be watching. Like, that's the difference that, what you've brought to attraction marketing and, to struggling network marketers has done for me. So thank you. It's a long-winded way of saying thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, here's the thing. Doing network marketing, it does take courage, because it's almost like, if you don't have credibility with your loved ones, then they're going to criticize it. But in my case, I had credibility and they still criticized it. It was like, it didn't matter, because that in and of itself takes courage, being willing. I know some of you are maybe shy about even sharing the fact that you're network marketing on social media, because your friends and family might see it. And all, like, that's all stuff we got to get over. Because now it's like, all my engineer friends, I mean, I have a good friend who works personally with Elon Musk at SpaceX. He's one of the most brilliant, space engineers in the world, working, 3 days out of the week, right there side by side with Elon. And these are the people that are seeing all the content I'm posting about network marketing, about what I do here. And I just, I have to be okay with that. I have to make peace with, like, I'm not going to impress them. So, somebody says, I bet they're not skeptical now, or I bet they don't think I'm crazy now. No, they still think I'm crazy. Doesn't matter doesn't matter how successful I become, they still think I'm crazy. But I'm not there to please them. I'm
Yeah,
here to one, take care of my family, and two, make as much of an impact in all of you as I possibly can.
awesome. Well, we're glad you took that journey, and I am, as well, because there's so many students that have come through the program that just wouldn't be achieving what they're achieving unless you put all of that out there. So, thank you for that. Now, I know that you're going to share today 12 skills of a seven-figure digital network marketer. So, you're happy to share that with us now?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do like also I want to share just this journey, the steps I'm going to show you in just a moment. The reason I'm sharing it is because for me, one of the things that created belief, if you struggle with belief in yourself or belief in the business model, even if you're here, even if you're part of Helen's community and learning from her, which I applaud because Helen is one of the best students I've ever worked with. I've, at times I've even been really tough on Helen, and she just bounces back like a champ and just thrives. It's like all of a it's like I'll give her feedback, and some of it at the time a time might like sting a little bit, but then she comes back and totally blows you away with how she responds and grows. And it's like it's not been an easy journey for Helen or anybody else. And what got me through that difficult journey, because even when you find the right skills, even when you find attraction marketing, you're going to have challenges. And fortunately, they're not the type of challenges that you deal with old school network marketing. I would trade these challenges for those challenges any point. Um, because none of that was authentic. I was only doing those old school tactics for an outcome. It wasn't authentic to me. It wasn't who
Mm,
I was. At the times, I
mm,
was being very deceptive, which is just the nature of those skills. And so every student, everyone who's been through our programs, like Helen, like they've persevered. And for me, one of the things that helped me persevere is understanding how network marketing is a business, how it compares to other businesses. Because most of network marketing, most leaders, type of number one, and if you've been told over and over again, just talk to more people, just talk to more people, just share with more people, just share with more people. It's not selling, it's sharing. Just share with more people or bring more people. Like if you're just that's what you're told and that's your training, like that's your skill development. Like for me, that was like speaking to me like a child because my background was engineering. Like if I wanted to be a six-figure engineer, I needed to learn some serious skills. And it just didn't make sense to me that I wasn't being taught skills or being treated like an adult in something that supposedly could make me six figures. And that didn't make sense to me. And so when I found attraction marketing was the first time I was spoken to like an adult. Here are the skills you need to learn. Here's how they work. Here's how you quantify. Like this is how you know whether you're on track or not. These are your metrics. And that made sense to me as an engineer because we have processes and metrics, and you do this happens, like that made sense. And all of a sudden my belief shot up because now I understood how network marketing was a business, or
mhm.
at least how it can become.
Yeah.
And so, what I wanted to share here are the 12 skills of a seven-figure digital networker. Because for me, it helps. I think it'll help you guys. It might overwhelm you, but I think it'll also help you how network marketing kind of just resembles any other business. And the skills that you have to learn network marketing are also skills you would need to learn to scale any business. And so I wanted to share that here with you guys because some businesses start small. A lot of businesses can start one-on-one sales or one-on-one approach. And then as they grow, you gain more leverage over time. And so that's what these skills represent. At each level, when you learn a new skill, you're up leveling the level of leverage you're creating so that eventually the business can grow without you. The income can come in without you. And so, Helen, if you don't mind sharing your
Yeah.
screen, I'll so absolutely have a pen and paper ready because this is going to be these are the skills you're going to need to learn. You're not going to need to learn them right now, all of them. You know, at most in the beginning, you're going to focus on one or two, but over time, this is what you're striving for, that next level. And this is how to become a 7-figure digital networker while having time freedom. There are 7-figure digital networkers that don't know all these skills, but you also notice, if they are honest, they actually don't have time freedom. They work really hard, many hours a day, to try to maintain that income. And if they stop working, their income shrinks. And that means they're missing some of these skills. And so this is like these, if you get all these skills, then you'll actually have time freedom. So the first one is just, you need to understand some of the things we've already talked about, just the paradigm that attraction marketing operates under. It has to be authentic. It has to be an enjoyable process to build your business using attraction marketing. If it's not, then you're probably doing it wrong, or operating from a mindset that is counterproductive. You have to first come from an unselfish mindset to be effective. Most of network marketing training comes from the perspective of selfishness. For example, make a list of 100 friends and family. Why am I making this list? Because that's how you build your business. You're going to build your business from by recruiting your friends and family. Well, notice how none of what I just said has anything to do with how it benefits or serves the 100 people you're writing down. The entire conversation is about how you build your business. So automatically you're focusing on you, what's in it for you, and it's inauthentic, and it's slimy, it's awkward. So you have to operate from a place of like, who am I serving? How am I serving them? How can I help them? And what are their problems? What do they want? Like, you have to have that foundation first. And so the next thing you got to know, once you have that foundation, once you know your niche, your target market, you start getting to work. And there's active audience attraction. Audience attraction is the pillar number one of attraction marketing, but there's basically 3 ways to do it. Active, meaning one-on-one. You're not waiting for people to come to you. You're creating connections with people. This is not prospecting. There's an important distinction. People use the term prospecting, and sometimes they actually mean it in a selfish way, and sometimes they actually don't mean. They actually mean it in an unselfish way. Prospecting, to me, I don't like that term, because it sounds like you're mining for gold. You're treating people like they're a gold nugget. And prospecting implies that you're only doing it to recruit or get people near your business. Audience attraction and doing it actively is just simply about connecting with more people, growing your network, growing your sphere of influence, and doing it in a very targeted way. And that's if you're going to have an agenda doing that, that's your agenda. Just grow your network, grow your audience, grow your connections, grow your friendships. Because the people with the biggest networks, have the biggest net worth. That's what you're doing. The majority of the people you might connect with will never join your business, and you're totally okay with that. You just want to focus on growing the network, connecting with more people, adding value to them. That's actually how you connect with them, is you connect with them by adding value to them. And, and then eventually you're going to learn skills that create more leverage in your audience attraction. Leverage audience attraction is like when you post content and the content itself draws people to you. In the beginning, you might not be very good at creating content, so that might not happen as much. But over time, your content can have reach. That's especially true now with TikTok and Reels on Facebook and Instagram, and then YouTube Shorts. That is content you're producing that potentially go viral and attract followers to you. That is a high leveraged strategy for audience attraction. But sometimes people want to start here. But here's the thing. You need to do the active part in order to know how to create content that'll turn into more of a passive audience attraction. The way you learn the most about who you serve, your target market, about, the way you learn most about what to say or what type of content to create is by having one-on-one conversations with the people you want to serve. That's where you'll get the most insight. So in order to do 3, you got to learn 2, and you got to be able to do 2 effectively. And after that, once you've done that, you can take it to the next level and have automated audience attraction, where you don't even have to create content anymore if you don't want to, like you do with 3. Because the issue with 3 is you got to be consistent. You got to post content on a regular basis, to grow that audience and attract it. So that's, probably more leverage than active, but it's still, consistent work you got to do. Well, when you automate, when you get the skills of automation, now it's completely passive. You one piece of content can run for weeks or months, and now when people talk about prospects flowing to me, and passively, that's what they mean, is having advertising do the work for you. I am the least consistent person when it comes to content creation. Like, I was at one point, I was very active doing audience attraction. I was creating content consistently, but then I was like, I got tired of it. But it just so happens the reason I got tired of it is because I had found automated audience attraction. And so I was like, I don't, I found something that was just way more fun. I was like, oh, now people drawn to me, so I don't have to be posting on social media every day, and hardly ever post on social media. And I was not only able to do that through automated audience attraction, but here's the thing: I had to get really good at leverage audience attraction and active audience attraction in order to know what content to use for the automated stuff. And basically for the past 10 years, I've basically been almost exclusively automated in terms of my audience attraction. And then there's active influence building, which is once you're connected to somebody, being able to like communicate back and forth, add value to them, answer their questions, comment on their posts, and add value back to them. Like, just be somebody that where you're demonstrating you can help this person by actually helping them. That's what active audience influence building is. Active influence building is just demonstrate you can help people by actually helping them. And you're doing it one-on-one, and even when you have more leverage strategies, still being willing to do the one-on-one, having that one-on-one conversation also goes a long way. And then there's leverage influence building, kind of like what we're doing now. Helen announced the live, you all showed up. This is very leveraged. Helen didn't have to make 100 phone calls to invite all of you on here. So there's when you create content that reaches a lot of people that are already following you, that is leveraged influence building. And what do you do with that content? Again, you're demonstrating to people that you can help them. That's all influence and leadership. If you had to define it, people make it so complicated. Influence and leadership. What does that mean? To demonstrate leadership or create influence. All that means is to demonstrate to people that you can help them by actually helping them. That's what your content needs to do. Demonstrate that you can help them, not showcase your product and say that the product can help them. You as an individual got to be able to help them, even if your product didn't exist. And people don't get that because they're network marketing and all they think in their brain is about their company and their product, because they've been brainwashed to be all about the company and the product. But the reason anyone buys or joins you is because of you, not because of the company or the product. You got to put yourself first in terms of demonstrating to your prospects you are a resource. You are somebody valuable to have in their life. And the way you do that is by actually helping them. So you can do that through content creation. And then there's automated, influence building. The beautiful thing about the advertising that I do now is like the ads run, people are attracted to me, but they don't hit my inbox. They join an email list. And then that email list automatically sends them content, or they put in their phone number and then I start texting them content, or they join a Facebook group and then there's content in there. It's like this influence building is happening on an automated basis. And it's kind of crazy because I can't tell you how many times I'll show up in an event or I'll have a conversation with a student for the first time. Like maybe they've been a student with us for like 6 months or a year or whatever. And then I either meet them in person or have a one-on-one conversation. And they're like, oh my God, this is so surreal. Like, Ferny, I feel like I know you. I'm like, I've never met you. But they've been a part of this automated influence building machine through my emails, through the content I've created, Facebook Lives, products I've created. So, I don't have to be as consistent with all the content stuff because it's like I have so much automation going. But again, you're not going to start there. And the only way you get to the automated is you do the leverage. And the only way you do the leverage is to do the active. You're not going to get it good at 6 and 7 until you're good at 5. And then active inviting and enrollment. That means actually inviting somebody to take a look at something and having an enrollment conversation. Now, this is not the same uh, in terms of what is taught in network marketing about inviting somebody, because most inviting in traditional network marketing is like it's basically a blind invitation. It's like deceptive. It's like you just kind of tease them and then they come to the meeting but not knowing what they're walking into, and all of a sudden they see circles being drawn and they're like pissed off. Like that's not, authentic inviting. An authentic invite is somebody already knows what they're being invited to do. That like they're already aware of what they're being invited to do or to look at, and they're freaking excited. That's the thing. And so with authentic inviting, if you basically do the audience attraction and the influence building effectively, the invite is so natural and the enrollment is so easy. You never have to deal with objection handling. You don't have to learn sales or any of that stuff. It's not really closing because people are already coming to that meeting like pretty much 80% sold, and they're just maybe want to ask a few questions and then they're ready to sign up. Um, and so when you invite somebody, this is number 8 is actually should be the easiest part of this whole process. Here's the reason. When you are addressing and helping people with their problems, and you demonstrate to people that you know how to help them with their problems, when you invite them to help solve their problems on a deeper level, it's very natural for them to go, yeah, I'd really appreciate that, thank you. Like that's what it is. It's not this deceptive, "Hey man, I want to have you look at something. It's really cool. I can't tell you what it is right now, but just, come join me on this webinar, on this meeting, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really awesome." Like that's deceptive. Like it's a blind invitation. Now, the passive inviting and enrollment is now you can do it in a more leverage way. We're going to make an offer for you guys to come to an event. We're inviting you to come to an event because it's going to help you solve some of the problems you're dealing with in your network marketing business, and you get to learn from the biggest digital network marketers in the profession. I'm able to do that in mass to all of you. Like that's like it's a passive invitation because Helen just needs to send an email or do a post, or I can do the same to invite people to like take a look at something, but I don't have to do it one-on-one. So that's where it becomes passive, and I can automate that part of it too. So passive inviting is not just a content post, but also, it can be automated. I generate enrollments every single day on autopilot. There's been customers joining my business right now while I'm in this live in an automated way. And so that's passive inviting and enrollment. And then onboarding systems. This is probably number 10 is probably the most important part if you want to be a successful network marketer. Because everything I just walked you through up until that point is what every business needs to generate customers. But every business, if they want to create repeat customers, or even if they want to create loyal employees and be able to scale their business quickly, they have to have onboarding systems. You got to be able to onboard customers, onboard team members. And so this is a critical part of any network marketing business is you have to have very dialed in onboarding for your customers so that they become repeat customers, then they feel served. You got to have great onboarding for your team members so they know exactly what to do, so they can duplicate right away, so they can have that first result within the first week or so of joining the business. And so many, network marketers miss this. They think onboarding is getting them signed up. They think onboarding is having them order that first pack of product for their business. And so onboarding is an art. So this is something you got to have. You also need to have higher level duplication systems. What does this mean? Basically, this is training systems for your organization so that when somebody in your team is reaching different levels, that you have the training available to them right away without you needing to do any one-on-one conversations, so that they can continue to up level their skills and move on to the next, level in their journey. And so designing systems so that your team always has the resources to get better when they have questions, they know where to go and it's clear where they need to go. Those duplication systems are going to be important because that's what's going to help your organization grow and scale in a big way. And again, every successful business, if you know business, has these systems, because think of all the different employees and managers and VPs and executives that got to be trained. They got to be onboarded and then trained on an ongoing basis. There needs to be a training system and a documentation system in place. They have to have what are called SOPs, standard operating procedures. So think of duplication systems like your SOPs for your team, your network marketing team. And then just like any other business, you got to have leadership, identification, and development. So you got to not only develop people, but you got to identify the people that you believe are going to become the equivalent of your managers, your VPs, and executives on your team. Not everybody's cut out to be that. Not everybody wants to be that. So everybody on your, different people on your team, some of them are going to be leadership material that you want to cultivate and identify. And some of them, it's like you just serve them because they want to stay where they're at, and that's cool and you love them. So you gotta know how to do this. You gotta know how to develop them once you identify them. And all these 12 skills for me, I've never had anyone outline for me. There's not a single network marketer in the world, no matter how big they are, that's ever been able to like list these out in a complete way and have it all make sense. So this is something I had to like piecemeal together from my own experiences and from talking and having conversations and learning from some of the biggest network marketers in the world on what's important in their business. And these are the 12 skills that one, when you know what these are, then whatever point you are in your business, let's say you've done active audience attraction for a while, you've gotten some results, but you're looking for a little more leverage, you know what's going to give you that little more leverage. Well, I need to, up level my skills so that I'm doing more leverage, or maybe I want to learn the automation now because, the active part is just not getting me to where I need to go. And so that is helpful to know that. That's helpful to go know what that next step is so you can, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it when it's time to kind of go to that next level. So Helen, that basically are the 12 skills of a digital networker. And every 7-figure earner who actually has time freedom in their business understands this at a very deep level that's building their business online. And so, I just wanted to open it up for any questions you have or any comments from anybody else.
Yeah, so if you've got any questions, crew, just put them in the comments now, or any feedback. Like, can you relate to some of these things? Can you see that these things, some of these things are missing in your business? Can you capture the vision of what Ferny has outlined here between, you might still be on 1 and 2. That's okay. Ferny's outlined the 12 skills of a 7-figure digital marketer. Unless you're a 7-figure digital marketer, there's going to be a lot of missing pieces. But what I would encourage you to do is screenshot this before I take it off the screen. And remember this. And remember the journey that you're on, because, the marketing piece of attraction marketing, everything that Ferny's outlining here, is the difference between really struggling and being in the struggle bus on an ongoing business, or actually developing your skills. And all of these require skills, but there are easier ways to do things to get better results. There are things that you can do to attract people to you. Those of you that this week are in my boot camp about creating freebies, that is attracting people to you and getting people to raise their hand to say, yeah, I want that information. Like, do you see where that fits in this model here? So let's have a look at some of the comments. So Cherie said, awesome, Ferny, absolutely love it. Laurie, is it possible to master all 12 of these if you are building strictly organically? So what's your feedback to that, Ferny?
Well, a couple of things. One, if the question is coming from a place of like, I'm afraid of advertising, then that probably needs to come from a different place. You probably definitely want to have a mindset as like, I'm going to do whatever it takes as long as it works and makes sense for my business. So that's number one. Don't be afraid of automation. Don't be afraid of any paid advertising. It sounds scary. I mean, our students start off, with a $5 per day budget. That's, anyone could afford that if they just stop buying Starbucks. And so, but to the answer your question, like get setting fear aside, yeah, you can. You don't have to do automation in order to build a seven-figure business. The thing you got to but here's the thing. I'm sorry. You don't have to do the marketing automation to build a seven-figure business. You do have to have effective onboarding, duplication systems, and leadership development systems. And in this world today, they're gonna have to be online. They're gonna have to be systemized online in a way that is automated. So you can get away with not doing the automated on the marketing side of it, the audience attraction and then influence building, but I think in today's world, if you want to be competitive as a seven-figure digital networker, you or your upline or your team needs to have these systems already dialed in, and you won't know whether they're dialed in or not unless you're trained on what they look like. And so that's essentially when Digital Networker Live, the event that Helen and we're putting on in July at 21st to the 24th in Las Vegas. I've invited my closest friends in network marketing who are six and seven figure earners, digital network marketers. They do attraction marketing, and I'm having all of them each teach on a separate skill. So we're going to be covering all the 12 skills over the course of the event, um, because it's going to help you evaluate whether where you're at right now uh, might need an upgrade in terms of resources. Are the onboarding systems you currently have at your disposal effective, or do you need to create something for your team and not blindly just trust what your upline has already created? Most onboarding and training systems for that I've seen that are created by the company or created by an upline who's not an attraction marketer are just not effective, and they don't really work very well. And so you want to be educated so that you can evaluate whether you already have something or whether you need to create it, and you shouldn't be afraid to create it. In fact, that's part of the reason to get educated, is so that it's kind of like the scariness goes away. You're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's totally doable. And if and when you need to get started on those skills and do it, then you know how to do it, and or at least you know where to go to find more, learn it at a deeper level.
Yeah, and I think with the advertising, and I appreciate some of the comments around, not everyone can afford paid ads, like Dan said, and that, what Laurie's mentioned, but it depends where you are in your business. So you can absolutely start organically. And I think it's important to do that, to learn really the actual marketing skills behind it. Like really not learning how to attract people to you through what content and how. So it's sometimes better to start organically. But once you get some success in your business, a little bit of success, my advice to you would be looking to reinvest into how do you go to the next level. And that could involve advertising, which you could allocate a little
Mhm.
budget for when you can afford it. None of this is about forcing anybody into paid advertising when they can't afford it and get into trouble and you don't have the skills for it. But this is a definite path to seven figures. And some of you just need to open your mind and your vision a little bit more to the point in time where you can do advertising and you do have the budget for it and you've got the vision
Mm.
for it, and you invest a little bit and you get a whole lot more, and you invest more, and then, really things start to grow. So it's just about not limiting your vision as to what's possible and learning the skills and the possibilities that are at your fingertips, for all parts of attraction marketing, which, for some of you may include advertising. So just keep your
Yeah.
mind open to those kind of things. It doesn't mean you have to. It's just an option which can work incredibly well when you
Yeah.
know what you're doing.
Yeah, and here's the thing, you're gonna get better. So when you decide to make that investment in Facebook University, for example, when you start doing advertising, that's what I call your advertising budget, whether it's $5 a day or whatever it is. That's your tuition to Facebook University. And what do I mean by that? Um, you're gonna get the best way for you to learn how to create content is by putting that content to the test and actually seeing if you get a return on an investment with advertising. The structure and how you create content for an ad versus a piece of content on a social media post is basically the same. So how do you know whether you're any good? for me, the true test is, if I invest $1, do I at least get $1 back?
Yeah.
Then that means, hey, my content resonated with people. People clicked on it, people reacted to it or responded or became a lead or requested more information. And so that, when you learn the skill of advertising, even if you never run an ad, that is actually helpful for you to get really good at everything else that's social media based. Um, so yeah, I mean, you don't have, I know plenty of 7-figure earners who they themselves have never run an ad, never built a funnel. But also their businesses are vulnerable too. If they don't have if they don't have an email list, if they don't have a way to attract prospects to them directly, if they don't have an online community that they own, then if something happens to their network marketing business, that is their entire livelihood.
Yep.
And so for me, it's like, if I'm a 7-figure earner, I would want to have an online, not only a social media presence, but I want to own my list. I want to have an email list. I want to cultivate that relationship with the people on that email list. I want to be able to have that email list grow and grow and grow as fast as possible, so that, hey, if I ever need to make a switch, or I ever need to, if that income source goes, like, I can sell something else to my email list that serves them, and I'll make gobs of money. And it makes that transition from one company to the next a whole lot easier. I've mentored many 6 and 7-figure earners as they transition from one company to the next, and that's what saved them financially, is having that bridge. And that bridge is your brand. And your brand, you don't own it until you have your own email list, your own systems in place. So it's like, you can hit 7 figures. Nothing wrong with hitting 7 figures without any automation. It's still $1 million is $1 million. Nothing wrong with it. There's just some vulnerability there. And for me, like, I built that, I got rid of that vulnerability pretty early in my career. Cause from day one, I was running advertising. I was running, a very modest budget of advertising, always, while I was doing the active.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got really good at the active organic. I built a 6-figure business from organic. I actually made more money organically in the beginning than I did from advertising, but eventually the advertising took over, and that allowed me to scale.
Yeah. And, look, both have its place. And one of the best things that happened to me is when I had some problems with my advertising and I couldn't advertise for 6 months, and I dialed in, and it's like, right, I really need to learn how to connect with my audience. And it was one of the best things that ever happened in my business, because I got really dialed in with attraction marketing organically. And then, built back up the advertising. So just open your minds, guys, to what's possible. Don't let that negativity, sort of come in about, advertising is the enemy. It's just, the possibilities are endless. So Ferny, share with us, I know those 12 steps, you've got, speakers that are talking all about that, and there's an event where they can learn a lot more. Can you share with us, what's coming up, and why I'm leaving Australia finally after 2 years and coming to see you?
Yeah, I can't wait to give you a big hug, Helen.
I know. It's been a while.
For us, it's like, it's time. The pandemic, for the most part, is behind us, and it's time to get together. It's time to do the one thing that transforms life the most. Zoom, StreamYard are great tools for connecting and learning. You guys are all here. This is not a knock on any of that, but there is absolutely nothing better, no environment that even come close to rivaling the opportunity you have to learn at a much deeper level than a live event, especially when you get to be in the same room as your mentors, your heroes, the people that are where you want to be a year or 2 years from now. Being in the same room, being able to talk to them, ask questions, get to know them on a personal level, all of that. Just something about being in an environment where every single person around you is moving and focused in the same direction. That's what Digital Networker Live is about. This is going to be the 11th live event, big event that I host and put on now as part of attractionmarketing.com, July 21st to 24th. And my goal is to help you discover all these 12 skills and learn a new way of building, so that enrolling people is effortless, attracting new customers is effortless, and being able to do it in an authentic and duplicatable way. And what makes it duplicatable? the fact that you actually enjoy doing it. And if you've ever wondered, what do top earners know? What do they actually know? This is my mission to deliver. The 12 skills, you're going to have an opportunity to get trained on every single skill that I'm talking about from a different 6 or 7 figure earner on our stage. And like I was talking about, there's blind learning versus transparent learning. The blind is what most network marketing does. They just tell you to do that one thing over and over again until you succeed, that you don't really know what's next. And it's weird because I went to school for 4 years before I started as an engineer. Like, I had to learn about engineering on a very deep level before they would let me touch a spacecraft, you know, or else it might blow up in space. And so, it, for me, I believe in transparent learning. Maybe you're not focused on everything, but you know what's next. You know what's coming down the line. Um, and so if you are interested in automation, we have actually separated this from the main event. The automation part is going to be part of something we call the Forbidden Strategy Workshop. It's going to be a day and a half, Thursday through Friday. This is an optional add-on. And this is where you're going to learn, if you want to learn passive enrollment strategies using funnels, if you want to learn how to grow your own email list, how to actually create and design 6-figure social media ads. And if you want to learn it and be able to implement in front of us, you don't have to launch any ads. You're just learning the skills to be able to do it when you need to do it, when you're ready for it. And you're going to get one-on-one help with us. This is a workshop style format. There's no pop or circumstance or special lighting, or, it's the way we approach it is very informal in terms of how we present ourselves. You see, like, the guy sitting in the chair, it's because we're actually working on writing some ads and some stuff. And using the examples from our students. Everyone has their laptop open. People have snacks and drinks, and like the tables are a mess because everyone's just like workshop style, getting stuff done, and we're moving around helping everyone implement. So if you want to learn this forbidden strategy, which even a lot of network marketing leaders to this day poo-poo on, but for me, this is the strategy that made me a 6-figure earner. And if I didn't learn this, I would not be here today. So if you want to learn this, that's going to be part, like a day and a half pre-event workshop. And so these are the topics we're going to cover: target market, how to set yourself apart. If you're going to spend money on advertising, how do you set yourself apart from everybody else? You're going to learn about lead capture pages, which is what builds your email list; headline formulas, which is basically something every attraction marketer, organic or whatever, or using automation needs to know anyway. Thank you pages. This is how you turn a lead into a customer or an appointment. And email copywriting, like what do you actually write in your emails that's going to elicit a response or somebody wanting to enroll with you or buy something from you. Day and a half, the half day following that is all about social media ad writing. So copywriting is just, all that means is just the words that go in your ad. That's what copywriting means. And so we're going to teach you our formulas that are designed to attract prospects in an automated way. You're going to write, you're going to implement, and we're going to do reviews and exercises together. And we're going to show you how, once you've written something and created something, how do you adapt the same thing for your organic post as well as your advertising, for your Instagram post as well as your advertising, for your TikTok post as well as your advertising, and your YouTube videos as well as your advertising. You can use one content idea and run it both as organic and as an ad. If you wanted to do that on any of these platforms, I'm going to show you how to do that. And even if you never spend a single dollar on advertising, this will be just super valuable for you to learn no matter what. So that's what we're doing before the event even starts, before the main event. And that's a special add-on. For Friday afternoon, we're going to start learning the 12 skills that are not automation. So the foundations, active audience attraction, our speakers, our trainers are going to be training on each of these things. Leverage audience attraction. We're going to cover TikTok, Reels, Facebook and Instagram, YouTube Shorts. On Saturday, we're going to go deeper into active influence building, leverage influence building. For example, content that sells, doing lives across different platforms like what we're doing now. The process for effortlessly enrolling. How do you enroll somebody effortlessly? Active inviting, leverage passive inviting, active enrollment, passive enrollment. So First 2 days, that's what we're going to cover. Sunday is going to be the day for leaders. Sunday is going to be like if you're a leader, or maybe you already have a team and you're already seeing some of the deficiencies in your onboarding systems, or maybe you don't have any, then that's what we're going to cover on Sunday. Our speakers, our trainers who have 6 and 7 figure businesses will be training on this stuff. We're not using Facebook groups, creating processes. Marina Simone's going to be teaching about a simple texting strategy that she uses to onboard her team members. Duplication systems. Bex Sadek, who you see here, is going to be training on how she's created duplication in her business, where her business very likely will be hitting 7 figures by the end of this year. So she'll have $1 million business, but only working 4 hours a week. That's pretty much her work week to have a 7-figure business. The only way she did that, was able to do that is because of the online training systems that she'll be training on at the event. Leadership development and just, more to be determined will be part of what we're teaching. These are the speakers. Ray Higdon speaking. Marina Simone. Helen is a speaker. Mike and Carla, who have mastered TikTok and attracted a massive audience on TikTok. My mentor, Tim Irway, recent 6-figure earner, Jessica Davis, was one of our students. Bryn Lang, a 7-figure earner, that is 8 generations from us in terms of attraction marketing and learning that skill. We have Bex Deck, we have JT DeBolt, and Kate McShay, one of our 7-figure students, John and Nadia Melton, and we have some more people we're going to be announcing. But these are the people that are going to be training on these 12 skills. So if you basically want to get a master's degree in network marketing in a weekend, this is how you do it. This is how you get that background training so that you know what you need when you need it. Now, here's something I'm offering. Those of you who choose to get your ticket, who choose to enroll, I'm doing weekly group coaching every single week. Someone's calling help.
Sorry, Apple products.
Yeah. So I'm doing weekly group coaching every single week, private coaching with those with people in our community, people that are clients of mine that have invested upwards of $20,000 to get mentoring from me. And when you get your ticket, you're going to be able to be a fly on the wall and watch me coach and work with our mentorship students at all levels that have invested up to $20,000 to personally work with me. And what I actually mentor them on during these sessions are those 12 skills. So if you want to see me work in different types of businesses, actually training on these skills, that's something I'm going to make available to you guys, where you can watch those sessions live. You'll see reviews of me coaching on these skills, and you'll also be able to ask questions and get your questions answered as well. And so this is a bonus that I'm only going to be doing this in the weeks leading up to the event. Every Friday, I'm doing this. And here's the other thing. Bonus number 2 is you can attend Digital Networker Live for free. If you make the commitment to come to this event, make the commitment today to book your ticket to Digital Networker Live. That's the link on the screen right now, attractionmarketing.com/Helen. This is a private offer. This is not public. No one in the public can get a free ticket. If you go to this link, you'll be able to book your ticket for free. You just need to submit a $97 deposit per person that's coming to the event, and we'll waive the actual fee, the ticket price. You can just book your ticket because we know it's going to take resources for you to get there. We want to eliminate all excuses, all obstacles. We want to give you every reason to want to be there. Have the people in the room that are going to be the best mentors and trainers for you. And we do have upgrades available, but this free ticket gives you access to the full 3 days of the main event with 6, 7, and 8-figure earners in the same room in an intimate environment with you. But if you wanted to have some upgrades, because we'll have some extra stuff going on, you can do that. If you want to upgrade, add the workshop, you can do that. This offer is not available to the public. This is just for Helen's community, and you can use that link. Please do not share this link. This is for you. This is an offer for you. All you need to do is book your ticket, book your room, and get to Vegas. We'll take care of the rest. When you show up, we will refund your deposit for the event, and that's how you secure your spot. I want to be able to have the opportunity to not only meet you and support you at the event, but even be able to support you in the 10 weeks leading up to the event every single week. And we also have more pre-event trainings that I don't have time to go into. We're going to have a special video studio workshop where if you see like the the setup I have here with the high quality camera and the background, all that stuff, microphone, we're going to show you how to create this type of studio setup on a budget. And then also, if you wanted to take it to the next level, get all crazy, we'll show you how to do that. We're going to do a workshop like that for attendees. And there's some other free trainings we're doing on different aspects of the 12 skills I covered leading up to the event as well. I just don't have time to go into everything. That's the deal, guys.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I like all the emotions come back when you put up those photos, Ferny, of that workshop and whatever. That was me 5 years ago. I knew nothing about the online world. I was the last person on Facebook. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I get this email. I'd just been introduced to the community not long before that about this thing in Vegas. I live in Australia. And I turned around and said to my husband, this is crazy. I know you're going to think this is completely crazy, but I feel it in my gut that I need to go to this event. And he's like, what? Vegas? Like, are you kidding me? And we turned it into like a little bit of a holiday as well. But that event changed everything. And the coming years and meeting the guys and being mentored by Ferny, learning all the skills, whether you put $1 behind it and do some advertising or not, you need to learn about copywriting. You need to learn about headlines, because every Facebook Live description you put up, every post you put up, everything you write on social media comes from learning about good copywriting and headlines and all those kind of things. So there's just, and duplication and onboarding and it was that event that propelled everything for me. If you got any chance of getting your butt to Vegas, meeting, the amazing Ferny, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be speaking on stage. I'm so privileged to be amongst those speakers, Ferny. Honestly, it's just an amazing, privilege for me to do that. So if I can get my butt on a plane to Vegas from Australia, and you're anywhere closer than that, or you're in the country, I reckon you should make the effort. Come and meet me.
And you have to do a few connections, right, to get there?
3. So I've got to get from
3.
my side of the Australia to the eastern side of the Australia. Then I've got to get to LA. Then I've got to get to Vegas.
There you go.
Yeah, it takes about 30 hours all up from where I live in Australia. So if I can do it, guys, you can do it. But this is an amazing offer that Ferny's just putting on for our online crew community here. So check it out, attractionmarketing.com/Helen. If there's any opportunity that you can make it, you will not regret it. And the fact that Ferny's offering this for free, like learning all of that from all those people, just incredible. I know we've probably talked a lot longer than we intended to. So I just want to thank Ferny for his time, because you've been very generous with your time in spending this long with us. So thank you on behalf of me and our community here. Please thank Ferny for spending this much time with us and for giving us this opportunity, to attend for free. So grateful for you, Ferny. I can't wait to give you a big hug in person. It's been a couple of years. It's just going to be awesome to be in person with everybody. Again,
I can't wait.
Yeah, craving it.
I can't wait, guys. I mean, here's the thing. Like, we have people coming in from the UK, from Australia, from Norway, from Germany, from Guam. It's like, it's going to be an international event. People are making the effort and they're choosing to have their life transformed. Some people, here's the interesting thing about life-changing decisions, or decisions that, I can't tell you the number of times a student has come up to me and tells me, Ferny, I like going to that event, working with you changed my life. Like, I would not be where I am today if I had not done that one thing.
Yep.
But the thing is, if you don't do that one thing, you will actually live a life of ignorance, never knowing what that one thing could have done for you. No one ever goes, oh, I wish I'd done that one, that gone to that event. That would event totally changed my life. No one knows. We literally live in ignorance of the things of the opportunities we had that we passed on. And I strive to make every event that we put on, and this is the first event we're doing in 2.5 years, a live event, to be a transformational place. It's like Zoom doesn't even come close to what you stand to gain at an event, because Your environment, you may notice your environment is not as conducive to building your business as you would like it to. You have your friends and family that are kind of snickering. You maybe your office is not really an office. It's kind of like maybe it's a bedroom or a corner in your house. You know, you have distractions, you have other responsibilities, you have work. This is an opportunity for you to be in an environment where the entire environment and everyone around you is pulling in the same direction. And there's no excuses. Like, we all start off in that environment. Like, the reason I have the office set up the way I do, like this entire room, big room, is devoted to just me building this business, is because I wanted to create an environment that was conducive to me building my business and getting better. Because I remember when I was operating from my bedroom. I remember when I had to find that corner in my office, in my bedroom, with a white wall so that my videos, would look more professional. It's like, I remember being in a little crammed area working on my business. That environment was not conducive. But when I got to an event, man, I felt, even though I hadn't made it, I felt like I made it because the environment was pulling me towards my dreams and goals. I was able to learn on a much deeper level than I would have otherwise on my own. And nothing can do that but a live event,
Mhm.
being there. And so that's what I recommend for you. Do whatever you have to do. Make no be committed to the idea of no excuses. Talk to your spouse, make a deal with your babysitter or your family relative for watching your kids. That sacrifice, I guarantee you, if you do it, you'll be saying, Fernie, like, this event changed my life. Thank you. I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't done that. Those of you who choose to stay home, you're probably not going to have the inverse of that, because you're never going to realize like what an impact something like that makes until you actually do it. So that's all I had to say, Ellen.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And just to address, Joanne, your question there, don't we have to be, really technical to do this?
No.
No, you don't. You just have to have an open mind and be willing to learn. So it's no different than what you're learning in my communities at the moment, Joanne. It's just an extension of that and a vision of that. So no, don't let that hold you back.
Yeah, one of my
Um,
one of my students, her, Brandy.
yep,
She's $1 million earner now.
yep.
When she started with us, she didn't have a social media profile and barely knew how to check her email or turn on a computer. Like, she needed help to learn how to copy and paste, on her computer. And now she's $1 million earner, has mastered all these skills. And so the answer is no. You just got to have the desire and be willing to be in the environment that's going to help to lift you up and train you, so that you can become that 7-figure digital networker.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. So, on that note, guys, this link here is only valid for a few days. So, it's just a Ferny special offer to our community, and this is not open on an ongoing basis. He's offering you 3 tickets. So, grab that link and check it out. Check all the details in it, and act fast, because that's going to go away in 3 days' time. Okay. So if you can do it, do it. And I can't wait to see Ferny and give him a big hug. And any of you that can make it as well, I can't wait to sort of be in person.
Yeah,
Um,
drinks on Helen.
no worries, then I'll leave the tab with you. So thank you very much again, Ferny. Thanks for those of you that have joined us live and stayed on for the whole live. Amazing stuff. And I look forward to seeing as many of I can of you in Vegas. Make sense?
Yep.
Thanks again, Ferny.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Bye.